In the world of textile, fibers are known as any product that are capable of being processed and made into fabric. The structures of fibers are defined as a hair-like strand that is very small in diameter in relation to its length. Fibers, as we know, are the building blocks of making textiles, yarns, and fibers. There are two well-known groups of fibers. There are natural fibers, and there are manufactured fibers. And natural fibers come from the environment around us, such as plants, animals, or even a certain type of mineral.
Natural fibers are divided into three different categories. First, natural cellulosic fibers. Second, natural protein fibers. And third, natural mineral fibers. But when we talk about natural protein fibers, they are known to be composed of various amino acids formed in nature and turning thus into polypeptide chains with high molecular weights containing carbons, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Though they are composed of the same chemical structures, in each every protein fibers, the elements are often combined in various types of arrangements, and as a result, various protein fibers may show some difference in their properties. The common properties are strength, density, resiliency, heat-resistant properties, bleaching, sunlight, and so on.
Wool is one fabric that is made from sheep or other animals. Wool was one of the earliest fibers to be spun into yarn and woven into fabric, and was one of the most widely used textile fibers before the Industrial Revolution. Due to the wool garments, interior textiles, high initial cost, and the cost of their care, most of the consumers considered to invest on it. Here are some well-known properties of different types of wool in general. Some have the ability to morph by heat and moisture. Some can absorb liquid well without feeling wet, meaning it absorbs your sweat, but it will leave you feeling dry than wet. Some has excellent heat retention. Some are water repellency. Some has feltability, and most of them are flame retentancy without going through any type of manufactured process. There are other wools that can be found such as raw wool, stored or cleaned wool, pulled wool, recycled wool, lamb wool, virgin wool, and hemp. But even with all the investments some wool companies obtain, we usually focus more on the product itself and not the dangers of their production processes. An example would be sheep on farms, which are specifically for commercial purposes, are sheared in a haste without caution, often injuring the animal and causing them severe pain. Common shearing accidents include their tails, skin, and ears being ripped off during the process of removing the wool.
Silk is a natural fiber that's similar with wool in that it's composed of amino acids arranged in polypeptide chain, but it's not cross-linked because silk is produced by the larvae of moths. Silk is universally accepted as a luxury fiber. The International Silk Association of the United States emphasized that silk has a combination of properties not possessed by any other fibers. It has a dry textile hand, unique natural luster, good moisturized absorption, lively supplements and draping qualities, and high strength. Silk is the only natural filaments are triangular in cross-section, with rounded corners. Silk fibers are very fine, 1.25 diameter filaments, while silks are slightly coarser. With slight striations along the length of the fiber. protein in silk is called fibre. These fibers are specifically made by silkworms. They are much like the caterpillars that turns into butterfly, but instead these white silkworms will feed on leaves and lots of it. This is important as it will take up a lot of time to create a cocoon. For them to turn into flying box-colored moths. Now, a cocoon of a silkworm is a really crucial part of making silk. Most people believe that the process of the making silk seems like innocent enough, but when it really comes to the process, it's a brutal ending for these worms in their cocoon.
Conclusion. So in conclusion, nature may provide a lot of things in life, and some has helped us live life. In this case, fibers, to create clothing to keep us warm and comfortable. But most people forget that sometimes some creatures may be harmed during the process of collecting certain fibers from them. However, the natural protein fiber production has divided into wool and silk. Because wool was made from the sheep or other animals, and silk was made from the larva, it's safe for sensitive skin and the texture is soft. That's why the natural fabric has an expensive price.
Wool is mostly used to keep you warm, and the material itself is somewhat thick, meaning more value in them. Silk are made from worms, which aren't too hard to find, although they are taken care of till they're a cocoon. So many face their fate in a hot steaming water, and some live to become months. So, from parts of the animal's body being slightly wounded and worms being boiled alive to obtain fiber, they are natural alternatives to work, but again, too much of something good could be a bad thing.